Hey y'all, Shanda here, and as promised, I am bringing you guys the breakdown of the Planberry, my favorite go-to planner, organizer, agenda for everything life, everything life. And as promised, I know sometimes I had somebody say like it can be overwhelming because it encompasses so much. So I'm gonna make small little mini videos for you guys where it's just like one section at a time and just giving you any tips in the way that I just approach using that section when it comes to filling out my Planberry and keeping my life, home, and mind organized. Okay. And in the description below, I'll include a link where you can get your own Planberry. They have different sizes. I'll put one for, I have the 8.5 size, and then there's like an 11.5 size that's like just a little bit bigger than this one. I've used both. As of right now, I prefer the 8.5 one because it's easy. I can throw it in my purse, I can throw it in my bag, I can bring it to a meeting, and I don't feel like it's like a little bit bigger than what I would feel comfortable with. So boom. And they have all different designs you can choose from, so not just this one. They have everything, and I forgot to put this in the longer video, but y'all, they got stickers. Me likey stickers. So I don't know, I just love it. I think it adds character, gives me something excited to look for. I grew up using like the Lisa Frank stickers when I was younger, so this brings me back. I'm missing a lot of them because my boys thought that they was their stickers, and so here we are. We're getting creative, we're stretching it out. All right, y'all, so first section. So when you open your Planberry, of course there's the first page where you just write out your name, your social. It's good for anybody that might find it if you forget it somewhere. And then our first section is what I call your journaling section. So that's the only thing we're gonna focus on. One step at a time, one thing at a time. So no matter if you're doing this to get ready for the beginning of the year, or you doing this because it's the middle of the year, or it's whenever you bought it and you're like, let me get myself together. This is where we're gonna start, okay? So they have, it's about 6 journal, I call them journal entry questions. There's enough lines to where you can fill it out here under each question, or sometimes I have an external journal that I'll keep with me, and you can maybe look at the questions in your Planberry, and if you feel like it's something you might need a couple pages for, go ahead and just answer that in your journal. And so this will help you get your mind right and get you in a good mindset and focus as you go to tackle the other sections of planning, to have a strategy for what you want your life to look like, but to also have this deeper feeling and this deeper knowing of why you want it to look like that, what's important to you. So the first question is, what brings me joy and what am I the most passionate about? So I had to think about that because those things have shifted for me just within the last like 1 or 2 years. So really take time to be intentional. How have you evolved? How have you shifted? How have you grown? The stuff that you might have been passionate about last year may not even be of interest to you this year. So take the time to really sit with that, to really be with that. Like for me, one of the things I'm passionate about is spending time in nature. Like me 4 years ago would have been like, girl, you can have that tree. But now I'm like, oh my God, I love being outside. I love taking walks in the park. I love going on hiking trails and just watching how nature responds to its everyday being in existence. And that's something that I'm passionate about now. And so I'm passionate about having free time. Whereas before I used to pride myself on being a workaholic. You know, it's like now I'm like, nah, I want my hour. I want my day to myself. So really thinking about and reconnecting to what brings you joy now in this moment. Because you might get a new one, a new Planberry next year after you use this one. And it's the answer to this question might be different. So take this time to really answer that and be with that. And it's okay if you don't know. At least you got to a point where you could slow down enough now to know that you don't know. Because I've been there too. Okay. So the next question is, what fills me up with energy and strength? And so that could be literal, like water, smoothies, but it could also be something like your relationships with your family, your relationships with your tribe, your relationships with those your friends, your relationships with your clients, your relationship with yourself. What gives you energy and strength? What things do you do that goes back to nourish you? That's not attached to anybody else. That's not for anybody else. I challenge myself to think about the things that give me energy and strength that may not necessarily mean that I have to have someone with me to do it, right? What are the things that, is it sleep? Is it a quiet moment sitting on your back patio? Like, what is that for you? And so, again, it's about slowing down and really connecting with what you need. Because when you start getting into your agenda and your days and your weeks are rocking and rolling and you are moving and grooving, you got a blueprint now to come back to about what brings you joy and what you are passionate about. Because these are the questions where you start when you start feeling, not as good as you usually do, when you're having a rough day, when you don't know if you're coming or going, because it happens. We're human. But you have that blueprint, you have that reminder of what you're here to do, what brings you joy, what makes you happy, and the ways that are important to you to nourish yourself and to come back home to yourself. So the next question is, what is the vision for the life you want? For my people who do visualization meditations, when you're big on manifesting things, writing it out, you got your vision board, you ready to make it happen. This is like a powerful question for us that likes this, right? And again, slowing down to think about what is the vision for the life you want. So I suggest thinking about what it looks like from your ideal day. Even if you want every day to be different, why? How is it different? What does it look like, right? And then if this is the vision for the life you want, what does your career look like? And I always suggest that you look at it from, if all your needs were met and you had everything you needed, what would your life look like? What would your vision for your life look like? Because what that does is it allows for you to visualize the life you want. It allows for you to think about the life you want without putting yourself limitations on there, without putting any limitations on there, any limiting beliefs, any insecurities on there. You can't talk yourself out of it for what's possible, right? What does the vision for your life look like? Right? And take a moment and really write into that. Again, if you feel like you need more than just, this is probably like maybe 6 to 8 lines under here, grab your journal and go to work. Get it all out. And then come back to it when you feel like you're losing sight. Have it written down, just like having a vision board. Have it written down. The next question is, what is most important in my life? And what do I really want? I suggest the way I really answer this question and the way I respond to it when it's what is most important in my life, I think about how do I want my life to feel? Because to me, that's most important. Because money flows, right? In and out, things shift. You don't have control over other people or the things that they want for themselves. So I think about what feelings are most important to me in my life and why do I want it? So for me, right, that might be like my peace, my healing, my purpose, my family, my community. Like that's what's most important, because when all the material stuff goes away, like you wake up and it could be anything. When all the material things, when all the physical things go away, what do I want to have with me? What do I want to feel down on the inside of me? That is the most important thing to me, right? Who do I want to be surrounded by? And then why? So then you don't get the opportunity to just say what you think sound good to yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. Well, why? Why is it important for you to have peace? Why is it important for you to feel joy? And then thinking about, why don't you feel like that now? What needs to change? What needs to shift? So I would definitely, my suggestion would be to think about how you feel when it comes to what's most important in your life. How do you want to feel? What is the most important feelings that you want to have? What do you want to embody in your life? What's important? Because when all the physical things go away, Who are the people you want to be surrounded by? Who do you want to be? How do you want to feel about yourself? And then the next question is, what are my personal core values? This one was, listen, this one was a doozy. So I actually had my therapist take me through this one. I can't remember the name of the quiz she had me take, but it was like a quiz where they, not a quiz, but they give you like 50 core values, right? Ranging from like peace, spirituality, wellness, wealth, knowledge, travel, leisure, relaxation, free time, community, nature, creativity, like all these things, like 50 of them. And then from there, she had me pick my top 10. But what I loved about that exercise was I had to really think about, like, what are my values? Because at that point, I was really struggling with just knowing who the hell I was, like self-identity. I was really looking at how much of my life I was doing because I felt like I was just people pleasing or doing what I just thought everybody wanted me to do, and I wasn't thinking for myself. I didn't know what my own voice inside of my head even sounded like. And so doing these exercises made me really sit and go like, what is important? What are those top 10 non-negotiables for me? Not attached to my kids, not attached to my husband, not attached to my family, but for me, for my own being, for my own entity, for my own self. What is that? And so when it comes to knowing what your personal core values are, I suggest picking like 5 to 10. What are your 5 to 10 non-negotiables for your life? Right? Is it your spirituality? Is it your financial stability? Is it your rest? Is it your creativity? Is it your community? Is it your wealth? Is it your knowledge? What is it? Your non-negotiables that can always get you back to yourself. Because what I'm learning is when you choose to live your life in alignment with your values, it's easier to make decisions. It's easier to see who is in alignment with that and who's not. It becomes a lot easier to navigate your life. Like I even have on the side on my board, I call it higher self-loving discipline. And for me, it's just like my 10 core values that are my non-negotiables for how I want to live my life. And I'm learning that whenever I go against any one of those values, my entire pillar of values come apart. And then I'm doing something that I probably don't want to do that's not in alignment with my my values or my goals for myself. So think about that, okay? And then the last question here is, what is my life's purpose? What is my mission? And again, I encourage you, I'm going to put the link to the pre-planning meditation video that I did for you guys. But I always encourage you again, if all your needs were met, if everything was taken care of, how would you be serving your community? How would you be serving your place on this earth? What gifts and talents would you share for free? Because it makes you happy to do it. And it makes you happy to see how it's impacting other people. There's this book called The Big Leap, and he talks about your zone of genius, where you are at the utmost, you feel alive, you feel like a spark coming alive in you, but it doesn't just benefit you, it benefits community and people. To me, that is your life's purpose. That is your mission of what you're here to create within yourself and share with the world. What is that? And how do you do it? And are you currently doing it? How can you share it? Because the more you do that, the more you heal yourself and the more you come alive as well. So I encourage you to, when looking at that question, look at it from there. So let's get to the journal prompts. Let's write it out, write it out. Let me know if you feel like you get stuck. Sometimes you might have some self-limiting beliefs come up. You might have even some things come up that begin to bother you or make you uncomfortable. I'll put the link to the chakra journal that I have, where you can kind of go a little bit deeper and see if there's some wounds trying to get your attention. See if there's some triggers that are trying to get your attention that you might need to go do some healing on. Okay, you might need to go move it out your body. You might need to go get your herbs, get your crystals, do your thing, do your thug thizzle, and go heal that to continue to shift your energy. So that you can have a more easy, fun planning process. But it's always good when it comes up, because that means it's ready to come out. Okay, so first section, y'all, journal prompts. Get your mind right, get it flushed, know what your values are, because it's going to help you fill out the rest of the planner. It's going to make it easy for you to choose when it comes to personal development, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to your hobbies, when it comes to your fitness and how you want to take care of yourself, what your top priorities for the weeks are. Knowing your purpose, knowing what you want and how you want it, knowing what you envision for your life, knowing what your values are, all of that is going to make it easy for you to choose what is necessary, what's a priority, and what you ain't got no business paying attention to or giving your energy to. All right, so let me know how y'all like it. Let me know how the journaling is coming for you. Put some stickers on there if you need to. All right, and then I'll see y'all in the next video.